It's another Earth Science video. Norris teaches science here with me, Mr. Norris, another Earth Science video, and we're still talking about astronomy in this video. So today's video's topic is the Sun-Earth relations. So by the end of this video, you should be able to say, I can discuss how the sun affects the Earth. So let's jump right into it. Solar radiation in the atmosphere. So as we talked about in a different video, the one right before here about the sun emits radiation, electromagnetic radiation, to the Earth. Now, what happens to that electromagnetic radiation or that solar radiation when it comes into the atmosphere? Well, some of it gets absorbed by objects like clouds. About 20% of it gets absorbed by clouds. 30% gets reflected back to space. It hits like a cloud or some particle in the atmosphere and gets reflected back to space. And then about 50% of all solar radiation reaches it to the surface of the Earth, where then it can start warming the Earth throughout its usage. So, what happens to it when it reaches the surface? Well, the solar radiation is absorbed by land and water. And if you didn't know, land will heat faster than water, and land will cool down faster than water. You can kind of know this if you've ever been to the beach. The state I live in has a beach, and I've been to the beach a lot in my life. It's a hot summer day, and you're getting to the beach, and you have no flip flops on or shoes on, and you step on the sand, and it's burning hot. So most people race towards the water. Well, the water's cooler because the water's going to take longer to heat up. That's also one of the reasons why the hurricane season gets really active at certain points of the year, because the water has to take some time to heat up because hurricanes need warm waters. Also, vegetation uses it in its processes. So, how does vegetation use solar energy? It does it doing a um, process called photosynthesis. If you don't remember what photosynthesis is, it's the process by which plants make food. They make their sugar, which is sugar. Um, what it does is it takes light energy and changes it into a chemical energy. And this is really important for humans. It makes the sugar so that we can have energy because humans will eat the plants and get our sugar. It also is very important because photosynthesis produces oxygen in the atmosphere. And I realized I have something wrong in this equation. This right here is not 6 CO2, it's 6O2. All right. There's a little bit more in here too with some numbers and everything else. When you get into biology, you're going to actually talk a lot about photosynthesis and what it does. Now, the Earth does protect itself from the sun because the sun can be um, very harmful to the Earth without our protection. The first protection it has is the ozone layer. It's a layer inside the atmosphere, and what the ozone layer does, it blocks UV rays or absorbs the UV rays so that it doesn't reach the Earth. If pure UV rays reaches the Earth, it will start burning people up. You would get a sunburn within a minute of being outside versus, sometimes it takes people an hour. I know when I go to the beach, I have to wear a lot of sunscreen in the beginning because I will burn. I have a lot of Irish and uh, Scottish heritage in me, and we burn. The other thing that protects the Earth from the sun is something called the Earth's magnetic field. And it is created in the core of the Earth because the core is rotating. And it surrounds the Earth. And what it does, it blocks solar winds from the um, sun. So you can see here, here's our magnetic field, and it's blocking all the solar winds from coming in. Now, when the magnetic field and the solar winds meet, a really cool occurrence does happen on Earth. They're called auroras. In the north, we call them the aurora borealis. They're a weak spot at the poles, and it creates these light shows in the um, upper atmosphere as things are ionized. Now, what would happen if we did not have the magnetic field? Um, we've seen this happen because we can look at Mars. Mars doesn't have a magnetic field, so and we think it once did, and so it's a kind of cautionary tale. What would happen first is solar winds would strip away the ozone layer. So we have no protection from the UV rays. So harmful UV rays would get in and start causing problems there. The atmosphere would also start to be stripped away. And we need the atmosphere. The atmosphere contains all the oxygen that we use to breathe. So basically, without our magnetic field, Earth then becomes unlivable, or we could not live on Earth. It becomes kind of like Mars. But that's how things interact, how the Earth and the Sun interact in a basic sense. You should always dig deeper for yourself. But I hope you learned something today. And this is Mr. Norris, and he's signing out for this video.